Alright, hello and welcome to part 10 of my Halo Custom Edition map editing and creation tutorial. I should say creation, apologies for that. I should say that it's been a few days since I made part 10, and I am going to deviate a little bit from the plans that I made at the end of part 10 for part 10, which is this video. But before we do anything else, let's just save very quickly. Yes. Oops. There we go. 10. Alright, now taking a look at our map, I think everything is pretty much ready to be joined. There are a couple of niggles, mainly just a few things which I need to wrap up on the map. First thing being smoothing. As you can see, the interpolation of our faces is pretty ugly. Everything is, well, not everything, but part of our BSP is segmented, and that's because our smoothing is not correct. So I'm going to be, in this tutorial, covering smoothing, and then later on we'll go into attaching and creating our skybox and testing this in game. So let's cover smoothing with these with our reference structures. I'm going to hit Alt Q, toggle manage faces, and just zoom in on one point. I'm going to hit 1, bring up vertex mode, select the vertices or a couple of them, and hit Z to zoom in on them. Alright, and smoothing really is all about aesthetics, more or less. For example, you could have this whole structure on smoothing group 1, and it would look damn ugly, but it would go in game nonetheless. It's really all about aesthetics. So generally, faces which have more than a 90 degree angle of separation, for example, this plane and this plane are both separated by a 90 degree edge. That would mean that this plane would need one smoothing group and this one would need another smoothing group. If we were to put them on the same smoothing group, then it would look slightly weird to have them smooth and not harsh as they're supposed to be. Now, the way that we could do that is either by just leaving this side alone because it doesn't need a smoothing group, it's completely flat, and leaving this one alone as well. And we don't need to have attach any smoothing groups to there. But where we have surfaces where there is more of a curve, for example here, just gonna make sure that I have no back facing turned on. We would need smoothing groups to give the illusion that this area is smooth without adding any more geometry. Smoothing groups essentially are just the way that lighting is interpolated onto the surface. So it doesn't modify the geometry in any way, it just modifies the lighting. So as I was saying, this is all segmented and horrible, but if we add one smoothing group, it now becomes smooth. Now we have a problem here where we have oops, smoothing group where we have our curved plane or surface here which is smooth, but then it's now leading into an area which is unsmoothed. Now the way to fix that would be to smooth this part as well, which is what we'll do now. There we go. And now there is no ugly seam. Okay, now suppose we wanted to smooth the top bit, but we wouldn't want it wouldn't want it to blend in with this portion. We want it to, smooth individually, aside from what we have below here. So I'm just going to select my faces. The solution to that would be giving this a different smoothing group. So even though these two surfaces are smooth, top and bottom, they both share a different smoothing group. which means that we can interpolate them as, you know, a curved portion here and a totally flat portion here. And the problem with this style of smoothing is it takes ages to, you know, just select your surfaces which you want to smooth, you know, assign a smoothing group to them, and then, you know, move on. I mean, look how much junk we have to deal with here. So the solution to that, if I just hit Control A and clear all smoothing groups, is to use Auto Smooth. Now, Auto Smooth works on the basis, as I mentioned before, of edged angles. At the moment, by default, it's set to 45 degrees. So anything above 45 degrees, it will not smooth. And that's pretty useful in our case. If we were to set this to 20 degrees and hit Auto Smooth, we get a fairly decent result. As you can see here, everything looks pretty decent. If we were to set this to 90 and auto smooth it, it would look awful because the auto smooth is exceeding, the auto smooth is, smoothing all our 90-degree angles. So if we clear that and set that to something like, well, let's try 45. We did try 45 before, and yeah, it's kind of smoothing these two portions, which I'm not sure if I like or not. Let me check the rest of it. No, it's smoothing this top and bottom bit, which I don't like. So I'm going to set this to 25 and hit Auto Smooth. There we go. And everything is much nicer. You know, we've lost all those segmentations apart from here. Let's set this to 35 then. Auto Smooth. Okay, as you can see, that's way too much, so we'll set it to 30 and auto smooth it that way. And there are going to be times when you're going to have to go in and manually clean out some of the smoothing. So that's smoothing group 5. So I just need to set this to smoothing group 5 as well, and that should be fixed. Or since this is a flat angle, we could just clear the smoothing group and see how that would look. Doesn't look so bad. It is a little bit weird, so we'll just change it back to 5 and be done with that. So that's what I'm going to do for this portion. I'm not going to go deep into smoothing groups just because it would take so long, but you can use the auto smooth function to your advantage here. So I've cleared everything, and I'm just going to auto smooth everything at a 25-degree basis. So now that we're done with that, let's go and isolate our main BSP, our organic mesh. So I'm going to select our organic mesh and hit Alt Q. Alright, now the way I'm going to tackle this is by clearing all our smoothing groups and focusing on the individual portions first of all. So actually no, let's give everything one smoothing group and try and fix, you know, all the errors that we have. So first of all we have this. Right. I'm just clicking on one polygon and shift selecting on the next polygon. That's going to loop or ring them for me. I've forgotten which one it is. I think it's loop. Oh dear. Oh, I can select it now. I don't think we can select it from the inside. It's a bit annoying. There we go. and we're just going to give that its own smoothing group of 2. Check out how that looks. That doesn't look so bad. I'm going to give this a smoothing group of 2 as well. Okay, now focusing on this portion. This whole row of polygons on the side is going to have a smoothing group of 2 as well, since the floor and the surrounding cliffs are on 1. Yeah, and take that off smoothing group 1, set that to 2. I wonder what this would look like with 2 as well. No, we don't want that. I should mention that you can also blend smoothing groups. So even though our floor here is set to 1, and this is set to 2, we can set them to 1 and 2 to improve our blending here. And I think that's going to be a good idea. Do a little bit of shift selecting. Can't find any loops though. It's a little annoying. We don't want that. We'll set this to a smoothing group of 1 and 2. Then I'm going to set the top to a smoothing group of 3, and I'm going to use triangle. Whoops, set that to 10. Just to help select some of our polygons a little bit easier. That's going to be 3. Lovely. Blend that a little bit. Or should we have it? I'm not exactly sure what we should do here with that. I mean, it looks. Nah, I think those parts just look a little too weird with smoothing groups which are blended, so I'm going to do that. Here, I'm going to keep the floor smoothing group 1, the side areas I'm going to give a different smoothing group, and if I shift select here, I should be able to select that loop of quads. Okay, that's part of the floor, so ignore that. And that's part of the floor too, so is that, and I'll set that to smoothing group 2. Okay. It's probably better to work without any smoothing groups and set the individual smoothing groups of these portions and then set everything else to just a global smoothing group of 1, because it can be hard to find, locate, which parts actually need a different smoothing group when everything is on the same smoothing group, because it just looks so weird. But that looks good. Yep, okay, happy with that. Focus on this portion now. shift select that. I did not want that. Let's try shift selecting there. That selects that whole ring, and seems that those two aren't connected for some reason. There they are. And we'll give that smoothing group of 2, or should we blend it? No, we'll give it its own individual smoothing group. And we don't have to touch the top, really. So that's that. Sort this part out now. This whole ring I'll give a smoothing group of 2. This whole sort of wall or side section, not really sure what to call it. I want to call it a cliff, but it's not really a cliff, is it? Make sure I haven't selected anything else. Smoothing group of 2. There we go. Select and shift select that whole ring. Same here. Same there. There we go. That helps speed up our selection a little. Then I'm just going to drag a selection box here to speed up things up a little bit. Deselect that. And this smoothing group of 2 as well. I'm zooming out, by the way, just in case I've selected anything somewhere over there, which I didn't mean to. Right, and let's do this bit now. I'm just going to give the roof or the top portion of this barricade a new smoothing group, or a different smoothing group. Use 2, and I'm going to leave the sides alone. I'm not really sure if I should. No, let's give the sides a different smoothing group as well. Control click, and then shift click to grab that loop. Make sure I've selected everything. This is the advantage of using quadrificated. Give that smoothing group of 3. Quadrificated polygons instead of triangles, since you can loop select and ring select a group of quad polygons, whereas you can't do the same with triangles. And this is what I was mentioning earlier about using smoothing groups, one whole smoothing group to start with. It's kind of funny trying to find the angle of edges, angle of faces which you need to select, since it all just looks like one shape at the moment. Not to worry, I've done this kind of thing before, so it should be easy for me. But you know, if you are having trouble, then just start with these individual pieces. Clear all the smoothing groups on your BSP and just start with individual pieces, rather than starting with everything on one smoothing group if you're having problems visualizing faces. And speed smoothing group of 2 as well. Okay, awesome. Not forgetting you. Shift click that, grab that triangle, select that, shift click that. Make sure, got triangle here. And I'm going to blend those smoothing groups actually. Or you could leave it onto one smoothing group. and just sort the top out. And I think we can just drag a selection box over here if we're careful. There we go, and smoothing group 2. Yeah, it does look a little bit weird. Striking that smoothing group 3. No, I don't really like that blended in, so we'll give this a smoothing group of 3 as well. So smoothing group of 1 here, 3 here, and then you could give this smoothing group of 1 again, since this top part isn't touching with this bottom part, but I'll just leave it as it is. It's not harming anything. Alright, and that's the smoothing done. We can leave everything as it is. And that's going to do it for this portion of the tutorial. I will see you in part 11, I think. I'm just going to sort this part out here, and then that should be me. Alright, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.